3, 2, 1. All right, everybody, places. We're about to live stream. Hey, everyone. It's a hot one. It is definitely a hot one. Nobody's here on the channel anymore. Are you all surprised? I have 92,000 subscribers and no one's surprised. Not one comment about, Bruce, there's nobody here anymore. Hey, Peter. There's half of the community right now. Karen and Peter are here. So we're about 200 or 300 that watch this channel in reality. And for whatever the reason, everyone else is here. Grip Ripper, always the same good people that come by to see the stream. The stream. Nicole S., hello to you. We have historical heat here that's starting in Quebec and more to come. Mr. Peter Benton. No, you're first, brother. You're first, second, and third. Exactly. Yeah, right. That's it. Karen, thanks a lot for the ongoing support, you guys. And fourth, Peter. That's what we got to do. I'm going to start answering you guys back with double comments or 2 or 3 comments during the day to make it look like there's more people. That way we'll be able to attract a little bit more people. Andrew Lepensi, how's it going, brother? Oi. Old Lady Patriot 64. How are you, my dear friend? Kai in the house. How's it going, brother? Hope things are okay. Yeah, I've been catching up, Kai. Like I said, I've been busy. And of course, I always miss a lot on what's going on your channels. But I hope everything's been okay, man. I'll be checking up. Minky Pinky in the house. How do you guys? Whew, so much is going on out in the news. I feel that we're on the verge of knowing something very, very incredible, quite incredible, something extraordinary about the moon and about the Milky Way, as the Milky Way was in the news last night here, not for very long, but they're talking about a hole, an opening in the Milky Way, a black hole in the Milky Way. Is that where I'm getting that light from? Is there any light coming from a black hole? Is something trying to come out of that hole? What will be born? I tell you what, guys, it's an incredible movie. Could you imagine what your kids' are going to be seeing about what went on? Hola, Big Ben. Nicole S., thanks again. Imagine what they're going to be talking about and putting in movies about what went on in the year 2000. Lots of stuff. Creepy, mysterious things go on. Satanists show themselves, and now the people are starting to see and understand what all the conspiracy theorists were saying a long time ago about the world being run by Satan, and all the people laughing at the religious people. You know, I mean, now everything's coming into consideration. Everything's coming to a point, and everyone's starting to align themselves like the James Webb Telescope. And once all our mirrors are aligned together, for those that understood that meaning, once we're all aligned and we're seeing and hearing the same thing, everyone will understand. But the problem is our perception is being changed all the time. Imagine having a secret project trying to change reality and to change the perception of reality by manipulating, theoretically, the minds of people. If that is not a horror film in itself, without even adding any aliens into the subject, it gets really, 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 really crazily, dangerously scary. Tommy, how's it going, man? Oh, Grip Ripper. How's it going, my friend? Yes, the screws arrived. And do you know that we changed telescopes because this telescope that I was given, I'm the only person that bought a telescope that has no threads. That's right, folks. I bought a telescope that had no threads to put screws on them. What else is missing in the scope? Didn't take a chance. Bye-bye. Changed it. I had a lot of problems with that. Not by where I bought it. They were very helpful to me, but the company itself. So let it be known, right? I bought in Montreal, La Maison de l'Astronomie. I suggest everybody to go there. 3 or 4 hella good guys that explain everything. They didn't call me back, but I'll call them back to know about more stuff. I've been studying about the scope. Obviously, there's lots to know, and the silly helical focuser that's on it that I said, oh, here we go. get to a forum, hundreds of thousands of people stuck with their telescopes, not understanding the helical focuser. I guarantee you that's not going to be my situation. But right now, getting the sun, learning when we could see solar flares. Like if I'm out there every day saying, where the hell are the solar flares? Maybe it's not every day there's solar flares, but things are advancing. At the same time, I have an incredible video for you all after the streams today. And unfortunately, it has to be after the streams because I'm not going to get any views. And tonight, after posting my video showing hundreds of black pyramids on the moon, how to see them, where they are, and why I'm seeing them. It's a really incredibly bone-chilling story, because with the Terminator line, as I was the only person that ever saw talking about this, the Terminator line elevates everything when we're looking through a camera or a telescope. Along the Terminator line, those who don't know, it's the black line, the line of darkness, the line of day and light that meet. Where they meet, there's obviously, this is the beautiful part, trolls and people, not just trolls, but people that don't understand the research, including me, since this is so top secret and like unknown, people will come and have their own opinions, but not everyone is doing the research. And I'm doing that in the background for you all about light, how light scatters, how shadows will do the same thing. If you have light scattering, the shadow from that light is also going to be scattered and will have not a straight edge, but will scatter and enter the corners and reach as far as the darkness goes. The way I'm able to show the pyramids or triangles, TR3Bs, whatever you want to call them, the triangles, the dark symmetrical triangles, the way I can see them is because of the darkness and I'm going to choke and die, and not because of the light. It's a bit of both, but in reality, the darkness, when the darkness arrives, it stops those pyramids from being hidden from the scattering and refraction of the light that's coming off the surface, as the objects have the same reflectivity and the same refraction that's happening with that object and the surface. So when you look where those objects are, you don't see them. So why is it along the Terminator line that I can see them? Two things: they're elevated, and two, the darkness casts a shadow over the pyramids, and we can see, thus seeing the straight edges of the pyramids on the moon. I've been showing that footage for a couple of years, but never saying that they were pyramids, just talking about, in particularly, triangles that are seen on the surface, whether they be elevated or not. But now, anonymous official last week posted literally in a video the triangles. The triangles were seen on a NASA image. So again, you know what I think of the NASA images. I've never discredited NASA. I've never discredited any associations. In my opinion, do I believe that it could be maybe some people are scrubbing images out? It could be. Never really seen the proof though. But in reality, they don't have to scrub it out. It's the understanding of what's on the surface. They give an explanation for these things. They're shadows. So people leave them at that. Well, shadows have characteristics. And if it's a shadow that's appearing on the surface from a celestial object, from a viewpoint that's shining down on the surface, well, the shadow is going to act a certain way. We don't see sun rays coming down from the sun in the morning, okay, and hitting the ground and making these straight square lines and stuff. If shadows were reflecting from a building, you're going to see the straight edge. And that's exactly why we could see those supposed triangles on the moon. But the next video, I'm not going to call them triangles. Be prepared. I'm going to call them black pyramids, dark pyramids on the moon. That's the lingo. That's what every astronomy channel is lingering on those triangles being. So instead of just saying triangles on the moon, we're going to try to attract more people to get their own opinions on that themselves. So yes, something very serene, calm, peaceful, and untroubled, tranquil about that last video. Grit Ripper, I really appreciate that. I love you, bro, for it, my friend. And for me, the moon, it's so emotional. I'm so emotional when I see the moon, and to be able to see it really close up, I get emotional. When I watch the videos, I get emotional because there's a lot of secrets around that celestial object that we're viewing. Religion comes into consideration, theology and stuff. You don't have to be a priest to get informed, and study certain things. So I wonder if any of you will know what I meant by talking about 9 UFOs retrieved in an archaeological dig site. Or maybe it wasn't dug, maybe it was just in caves or something, but it was an archaeological site. This is Bob Lazar during an interview. Of course, Jeremy Corbell was present. This was on Joe Rogan's podcast, and you all have watched it definitely, or parts of it, or heard of it. He was asked by Joe Rogan at one point, well, where are they from? And when I say where are they from, I'm talking about the 9 supposed UFO craft that are in the bunkers, S bunkers, whatever, Area 51, where they have different propulsion systems. And that, for me, when I heard of the different propulsion systems, all right, my mind started wandering and pondering. But the fact that he mentioned it could be an archaeological dig site where they found these objects, now I'm intrigued. Now I'm very intrigued. Why are there UFOs inside of the ground of Earth, or why are there UFOs that were buried? And especially, I'm curious as to whether these 9 UFOs that were found in an archaeological dig, were they found together, placed there, deliberately 9 craft with different propulsion systems? I think we have an idea now what the secret projects and what the country, the United States of America and others that would have this technology or have seen that would be trying to back engineer, right? And that's when Bob Lazar popped up, as we heard his story, nuclear physicist, by the way, very young man that was hired to back engineer at a secret unknown base at that time, which is now a base that's very, very, it's a very well-known secret base, is Area 51 that they talk about now. By the way, I had to put Darla's image back up on this side in the corner. I was starting to miss it. Got C5 circle up in the corner there again. Changing it, our little gray alien. I mean, if we don't wake up, I'll tell you all something too. If we don't wake up and smell the coffee and start looking at what's going on around us and start lurking and forcing our mind, challenging our mind to understand or look into other serious issues, if you don't want to wind up like him, I don't know. I'm good with the way I am. But doesn't it make you understand that there's a different, if we're talking in theory, humans, I'm jumping all over here, humans that were created by science, let's say, right? Look at it the way you want. I always said, whether it be God or whether it be created by a human, it's still science. That's the way I look at it. Whether God created you or not, he's still using science, I believe. But again, we're just always talking theory. Hey, thank you very much, Peter. Thank you very much, sir. Bruce, what do you think of the fleet of orbs or debris that's been captured on ISS camera? Well, it's definitely a problem. Thanks, man. It's definitely a problem. People are talking about the debris. There's thousands upon thousands of objects as big as a fist and smaller. And there's many other objects, if not thousands of objects, most likely, that are big. We're talking like, size of a football field, the size of a truck, very, very large objects. I guess the debris field would all float around the same area, but there's a wide stretch of that area that's being bombarded all the time by this debris, the shit, excuse the expression. That's why I believe, Peter, there's no way in hell that they're going to let us leave this planet until we understand, not necessarily fix the pollution problem, but understand what has gone on with Earth, what we did to it, how we destroyed it. If we were able to be that advanced, right? Because people see us as advanced guys jumping around here again. We're not advanced, okay? If you say that the advancement is all done by computer gadgets and devices, if you just turn off a light, everything goes off. And that, I believe, is how they have a hold on us. They have us by the balls, excuse the expression. The government at any given time can turn you off. You say no, but you know that you're going to have problems if your internet goes down, right? You're going to have problems calling work if your phone doesn't work and stuff. So we take these things for granted and we say, wow, we're always used to hola, picking up a phone, calling someone in Dominican Republic or Mexico or, wherever the hell you want to call someone. and being able to talk on the phone. Once that all goes down and we turn back the clock to the olden days, well, people think that we'll just go back to doing what we did in the olden days. No, we're going to have to learn what happened in the olden days, because people just think it was easy going back to just a simple way of life. But the simple way of life was actually the hardest way of life. Everything was work. You know, you wanted butter, yogurt, whatever, cheese, you were making it. Bread, you're making it. We're used to having all these commodities and, oh, what am I going to get this morning? Well, I'm going to pick up a couple of albums. I need a new stereo system. So often some of us put the 4 stereo systems that we bought, not me, but some of us, put them away, and we buy other things. But that's our technology. In reality, there is no technology. The technology is what used to be here on Earth thousands of years ago. The advanced race here on Earth, we could be them, the remnants of them, and just getting dumber and dumber by day, obviously, as we talk about the sperm counts and we talk about everything as a whole, whether it be because of the climate change, the pollution, and, Monsanto spraying crops, and, it's ridiculous. It's ridiculous what's going on, that we're in the future and that's still going on today. And a lot of people, it's not that they're dumb and that they don't want to, they said they don't want to know. That's just it. If they were smart enough to look into these things, the conspiracy theorists, well, imagine the smart people and everything start really looking into all this stuff, then they would wake up really, really fast. But some people prefer, it's too much to change. My life is like this. I just want to stay the way I am. We have to do something. If not, it's not going to stay the way it is. Big Ben. Thanks again. I am Kai. How's it going, Bradley? Hey there to you. Sup? It is hot here in central Illinois. Thanks for letting me know, man. Yeah, it's really hot here too. Very, very humid. It's climbing up again in the house. Right now it's 84 degrees in the house. And I'm still surprised. It could be a lot more humid than that. Usually it's a lot more humid than that. They're talking about a historical heat. So when they say historical heat over Quebec, well, it's not necessarily just me here. Quebec is pretty big. Sometimes in certain regions in Quebec, they get hotter weather than us here. Like we're getting pretty much north here, and then it goes down even more north, and they're going to be getting a lot of hot weather. Spectronics 1, thank you for being here. How's it going? Watching, keep up with the breath. Thank you very much. I appreciate that, you guys. Nick Bauer, Bowker, sorry, or Boker, Bowker. Thanks for keeping up with the progress, you guys. I really appreciate it. San C, thanks for the contribution, you guys, for being members, for everything you do. If you're here watching a video, you're contributing to the channel. Channel's dead. There's no reason for why my channel got 3 comments and 3 views since yesterday. It's very, very odd. The 3-letter word that starts by W, the people fight. We can't mention it anymore. I was devastated when I got an update on my AdSense, an update on my PayPal. They're warning people that anything related to talking about, even I don't think that is real, it's a no-no. It's something I hate. It's a clutch they have on us, a grip they have on us. But me as a host, I won't be answering questions about it anymore for what's going on in Ukraine. Just to let you guys know, a heads up, and know that if you have a monetized channel and you don't know this information yet, you're going to get it. And go to your AdSense if you haven't been in the past few days, and you're going to see the new update that is explaining to us that you'll be immediately unmonetized anything that comes up about that subject. So remember when I started talking on the moon about the lights, what they were with my theories? I went and touched a certain point, again, a 3-letter word that starts with W that has to do with people fighting. I guess they're taking that as also considered off Earth. They don't necessarily say on YouTube, you can't talk about the 3-letter W word on Earth. Oh, a space too. But it just so happens, I think that I feel that I maybe touched a nerve there. Maybe not. Like I said, oh, it's just Bruce feeling he's always on target. No, they're not blocking me for nothing. Barweast, Twinsy. How's it going, Barb? Love you, sister. You guys can check out Barb's channel too. Barb, I again, problems with live streaming and certain subs. Barb, check out. You should be able to stream. You should not have to wait to have certain amount of subs, and you'll find that out in Creator on the top where it says create. There's little icons on the top or left of your channel, and you'll see that it says create, post, or stream, live stream, or go live. If you can do it by there, do it. And if you need help too, let me know. I got StreamYard because it was free. I pay now almost quite a bit actually with the StreamYard every month. You know, it's under $40, but it's close to that to be able to stream the amount of times I stream, because it's the access to the streaming hours I didn't have with the StreamYard. I could only get so many hours to stream, and I was only getting halfway through my month. But do let us know if you need a hand. Hot this week and the beginning of the next week in Central Utah. Thanks, Nicole. Yes, it's going to be very. Whoop. Something just happened. The box went blank. I can't see anyone. I'll wait till everyone appears again. Everything was scattered. The usual is always happening. Betty Zoom, Ontario, Canada. Love you guys. Thanks, my neighbors in Ontario. Thanks for connecting, for taking the time to check out the videos. I really appreciate it. We don't have a lot of people here from Ontario and Quebec either. So awesome. Little Mings, hi to you. Thanks so much, Anthony. I appreciate it. Thanks for the comments, brother, and everything. You guys, love you all for it so much. Adios, Valhalla. Comment ça va, mon frère? Hi, everyone. Hope you have a nice day. Hot day. It is, brother. It is so hot. Do you think the CV lockdowns throughout 2020 and now could be a timeline, even that would affect everybody on Earth? So the secret agencies can go ahead safely with time traveling experiments. Absolutely. I think it has to do with that and a lot of other things. That now with all the, excuse the expression, the shit going down or shit hitting the fan, everyone is going to leave and to do secret projects. The UFOs I saw coming back the other day, secret projects may be coming back. They maybe just did something. James Webb out there on a secret mission. Come on there. It's ridiculous. Oh, and by the way, for all you big funders who are funding James Webb Telescope and have given millions or billions to James Webb Telescope, lucky you guys, because the community of the James Webb Telescope have now gotten information by the ones in charge of running James Webb Telescope in space, a message back saying, we confirm space really is filled with stars. I loved that. I saw that on TV. I was like, they're kidding. Is that all they're going to say? And they didn't say anything else. So I'm like, ooh. All the funding's already corrupt anyways. And the ones funding it know where the money's going. They obviously know they're going to secret projects. Maybe they'll bring back a lizard foot or something from Draconis. I don't know. They got some kind of deal with the elites or the rich that they're doing, which is pretty interesting when you think of it. Hawking radiation comes out of a black hole, theoretically. Absolutely, theoretically. Yes, it's very interesting. And we're talking about black holes in the Milky Way. Well, I'll tell you what, the other day with the infrared camera, I saw a beam of light come out of the effing sky, which I've never seen before in my life. And all this documentation, I tell you what, there's one thing that the Pentagon, I know, and I can almost feel that they were truthful about, is that the UFOs that people are capturing cannot be documented and characterized as one type of phenomena. There's advanced vehicles. There's the unidentified aerial phenomena that they're capturing that are not necessarily vehicles. They don't know what they are. They don't know what the hell they are. As for vehicles, everything we see in space, even that object that they found over Mars, it looked like a horseshoe head. It looked like a horseshoe head chess piece, exactly like the object I found smashing and hitting the moon. So objects have odd shapes. So far in my experience, that don't look like saucers. Like, never have I seen something round except for a light, of course, which sure, it can be a saucer, but the first mention of a flying saucer, it wasn't a saucer. It jumped off the first UFO sighting reported. It jumped and skipped off the ground like its underbelly was saucer shaped. And that was the first flying saucer came to exist. And then they made the images of the round bottoms. And then, of course, it's always easy to add certain lights, maybe a little door and a ladder, right? Because our imagination is just going out there. So imagine everyone's imagination, including mine and my theories over the years, all the jumbled up information that everybody has out there about the moon that is not true. So it's mixed in. You have truth covered in misinformation, and you have misinformation that's being splattered by truth. So yin yang, right? Yin yang. There's good and bad, there's bad and good, but that's how they do it. When too much truthful information comes out, it's easy to sour that information by adding misinformation, but smart information is what I call it. Invent something that's going to blow people's minds away. That's how con artists work, right? Come up with an incredible theory that's going to blow everyone's mind away, which a lot of people said that's what I did, right? But again, my theories come from what I find, and not from I didn't start the other way around, from inventing things like, well, there's this on the moon, there's that. Me, I'm basing my theories and findings strictly, mostly on my findings, and of course the odd finding that people show elsewhere, I guess. Oh, awesome. Old Lady Patriot 64. Listen, it's a beautiful place. All Quebecers that go to the States, that's the place they go to in Florida. Sorry for that, Floridians, but that's how it is. And who is it? Julie, the other day, the Stats showed a beautiful video. The Stats, if you're listening, you have to turn your comments on. She was expecting comments. There were no comments, unless it was deliberate. But Daytona Beach is, I had a chance to go there a long time ago. I was 14, 15 years old, maybe even a bit younger. And I had a chance to visit. Actually, a lot had happened in the family at that time. We took a week's vacation to go to Cocoa Beach and Orlando. No Walt Disney. I didn't even want to go there. Like, honestly, there was nothing we missed. But actually, I think my parents did want us to go there. But what happened is that you go there during Christmas. They're like, we're closed. What do you mean we're closed? Well, Quebec mines, right? They're not going to close for Christmas. It's beautiful out now. It's Christmas, so it's closed too. We close for Christmas here. It just so happens that we close and we have storms, which is so silly. Christmas arrives, families in Canada meet up in the snowy regions, and that's when the most accidents happen. That's when the roads are the worst during Christmas. Put Christmas like the 15th of June or something. That way people will be more safe on the roads. Craig, 1971, how's it going, my brother? Thanks for being here, you guys. Oh, thanks, Bradley. Well, I'm so interested by the Milky Way and what they're talking about. And what I think with the black holes, listen, they're observing black holes that are, and I'm not going to make this boring. I'm not going to get into theories about black holes. It's not boring for me. I love it. But it's so complex. Trying to learn the sun, and you're trying to learn black holes. And then you're seeing that scientists are agreeing and disagreeing all the time. They're mostly disagreeing. But eventually we are going to collide with the Milky Way. Of course, we may be talking thousands and many thousands of years away, but at one point it's inevitable. Like they say, the universe is always expanding. Well, now we have scientists saying, oh, well, it looks like the universe has finally finished expanding. You're like, wait a minute. There's lots that they know and they talk about that people don't think of necessarily. So eventually the planets are going to get further they are right now. They don't go very far away. Like the moon moves like really little, way less than a meter per year. It would take like 10 years for it to move away that a meter. How the hell can they know that? I don't know. I'm just repeating what they're saying. Like, yeah, the moon's away with about a meter away every year. We go up and we measure it and we look and we go, oh yeah. Yeah, the bugger moved about a meter. So they get to know that, right? Yeah. There's lots of speculation when it comes to, I think, when it comes to science. So, yeah, well, I change them when I clean them. It's always there, the skull, and I have no room in my house. My house is very, very small. Every object, I only have a table there to put it. And often during the week, while I set up things differently, and then when the stream comes back, I move shit and stuff like that because very, very tight. Super Dave 44, how's it going, bro? Thank you so much, bro. I got that channel up and featured, by the way. Thanks so much. Hey, Josh, you guys can check out Super Dave channel. Josh, Loftus, thanks for the comments, bro, and the support, man. Hey, thanks for being here, bud. I appreciate the ideals too and everything you guys bring to this channel. Sees all Super Dave 44, an amazing guy, not just a good channel, he's an amazing guy. You guys can check him out too. He's getting up there. Subs are getting up there. Next big milestone, 10,000. You guys can head on over and subscribe if you appreciate his channel. Burns in the house. Another cool channel. How's it going, Burn? Good day to you, man. Absolutely, Spectronics 1. Yeah, sure, they can be manipulating us, influencing us. Absolutely. We're a very influential race, right? People get influenced. We're not going to hide it. Sure, I say I don't give a crap about what people think, but in reality, it goes and gets you, and it makes you wonder what's wrong with the world. People deliberately disagreeing with you for some reason, without whether they like you or not. But once you understand, it's just that. It's just the way, the trend. It's the trend, how everyone acts and works in life. Once you understand that, it's not so bad when somebody calls you a fat ass, or if somebody says, hey, baldy, or hey, four eyes, or whatever somebody can come up with a situation and say, it's pretty childish. Some new updates in rules for cyberbullying. So trolls, beware. YouTube's not doing enough, but they're trying. So hopefully that will help a little bit. Not allowed posting people's images, not allowed posting personal information. Like that channel posted my house on fire. The video's down. I mean, that's what happens. Is it worth it? You'll get a strike on your channel. Nyaka Lopez, Cuba, we are here. Thank you very much for being here. I appreciate that. Strong to everyone. Cuba, Israel, Mars, the moon. I get along with everyone on this channel. And everyone that can come here, no matter what the clothing you're wearing, no matter what the signs and logos and flags you have up around you, I appreciate people coming by and giving their own opinions and stuff. But some people get really offended about certain things, about certain silly things sometimes. But that's how it is, eh? That's how life is. Ed, how's it going, brother? Demon minions running around pleasing their masters. Yeah, those little demon buggers there. Create the perfect DNA. So you see, they created us afterwards. And they wanted to create us. This is in theory. I got a whole bunch of them. They wanted to create us to be like them, who could, follow rules and whatnot. But I think the masters sort of wanted to recreate something like them and use us as their own ideas. Say the master has many planets of people evolving and building and constructing and singing and developing things like music, writing, art, all these. I mean, think of it, mind-blowing. Art's always existed. Yeah, no. One point, somebody declared a drawing was art, right? Sure, drawings are done all the time in stones and stuff, but the evolution of it all, the masters watching how humans with free will, but slaves behind wide bars, because they change. In the olden days, they used to put them in cages, probably, in theory, and now we're still in cages, but if they make the cages really big, well, we function more. The whipping didn't work. The torturing didn't work. Nothing worked. The only thing that would work for a human to be able to function, and only if he felt his environment was safe. It's like asking a bird to build a nest on the top of a tractor in a construction site. It's not going to happen. But if that tractor is covered in branches, the bird will land on that tractor and the bird will make its nest on that tractor and we'll never know there's a tractor under that nest. Do you understand that we are those birds and we're sitting here in our nests in our homes built on what we believe is our free land? And you know, yeah, it's a slave world. That's what we live in. But imagine them watching us evolve, and every idea that comes from here is taken. The masters take the ideal and they make it better and they make it their own. How many times have they tried to perfection the race? If you look at humans saying, well, maybe this time we're going to give them fear, lots of fear. Fear inside of someone will stop you from doing certain things. If you have a fear of a certain thing, you will not do it. It's a basic instinct in nature. So if they change the perception and the reality of what you're actually seeing, then they put fear into you and then they control you through the fear. And they have to look very scary. Why do you think they presented Satan to you with big fangs and a tail and evil and snarling and dirty and stuff? What if they showed you who Satan really was, in theory again, and it just so happened he didn't look as mean? Wait a minute, this sort of looks human. Wait a minute, what's going on? Right? Well, it's the idea that people have the ideal. Um, in school, I remember kids in school, the black and white kids were all friends around here, anyways, all good people, blacks and the whites, and little fights would break out in the yard about whether God was white or was black. Or when you think of all that, you're like, oh my gosh, are we an evolved race? No, we're a race in the beginning of time, the beginning, guys, of time. The time on God's watch is a lot longer. 1 minute on God's watch is an eternity for us. That's how I look at it. You know, the world here is an experimental lab. It's an open outside refrigerator to keep us, no, not to keep us cool so they can eat us. I don't believe that. If they can be invisible and they created us, do you think they created us as a meal? I don't think so. I do not think so. I think it was far more different than that. 1 second, y'all. Just a minute, guys. Somebody came here to check the corner of my roof. I'll be with you in 2 minutes. I didn't want to cut the stream. I'll be right back. Forgive me. I'm back. Sorry about that. Whew, okay. Second here. Oh. Yes, sir, guys. I'm so sorry. Demon minions running around and pleasing their masters is exactly wow. I was talking about that moment. So let's get the fan a bit closer. There we go. My glasses now. Get my glasses. Fuck. Second. There we go. We're all set, guys. Good thing I didn't make any coffee, eh? Do you remember that song from the 70s in the year 2020? Yeah, exactly. That's what we're doing. We're funneling from the past and back to the future. Body's reality timeline, so they have a focal point to go back in time traveling scenarios. So you know what, Andrew? Andrew, you're in the same place as me. Imagine them preparing us for time travel to go back into, I'm sure that's what you mean, to go back into time, to go back into that old setting. So what is it that all humans became evil and the polarity is going to make us good? Is that what happens when things shift? We get mean and then we go back to being good. Mean, good. It's funny, everything has a bright side to it and everything has a dark side to it. Use everything with that term for the fun of it. Let's see. The sun, it rises, it's bright, it descends, it dims. Up or down, right? Everything is up or down. Like you say, aliens can manipulate the human mind easily. And I think human secret projects, MK Ultra and everything, CIA, FBI, have been able to, after the Cold War, especially, probably even during or before, to find ways to torture people and stuff. There's books about it, right? Have you guys seen those books? They talk about books, torturing books and stuff like that. Not a good conversation, but it's true. Oh, yes, they have. They have. Many, many weeks of studying, and hopefully I'll get the sun on a good day. Eclipse Sunday, guys. Sunday, there's an eclipse. I don't know if it's going to be nice or not. If it's nice, you can be sure I'm going to film the whole eclipse. We're just at the point where I'm trying to get the solar flares to appear with the oxygen and gas and understand the focuser. I had to go get another piece. I'm going to have to build myself a roof around me because it's absolutely impossible to see. It's like telling you, film a tomato in the garden that's right up in the skylight in the sun and try to film that tomato without having the bright lights around it. And of course, we're going to hopefully see something really incredible. Yeah, you remember that song in 2025, eh? It was a good one. Oof. A little too hot. So now it's up to 86 in the house. Whoa. It's not good for someone being on the roof either at that temperature. You can't work for very long outside. I got some water for him, though. 31 Celsius here in Montreal. Hot, hot. Préquel for summer. Oui, un début de qu'est-ce que nous pouvons attendre pour l'été. It's going to be definitely hot. 9 UFOs with different means of propulsion that were found in the ground. So something happened here, a battle with aliens. Also, this is, again, always in theory. There's nothing, I'm not here to prove. My opinions aren't proof. They're just my opinions, right? We have visual proof and evidence of lots on the moon. That's for sure. And like I said, the next video, we're going to be talking about dark pyramids. I'm going to show them to you. I'm going to show you that they're standing up. And I explained in the video that it's the light, the darkness in the background that is reflecting the straight edges of those effing beautiful, beautiful triangles on the moon. They could be communication towers. They could be absolutely anything. It could be dwellings. It could be a weapon. It could be TR-3Bs that are landing with the nose standing up in the sky like they're ready to launch. I don't know what it is, but I'm telling you, it remains extremely interesting. Just talking about that, just that Bob Lazar, that last question that Joe Rogan asked him about where do you think it's from? Did they mention you? Did you hear anyone telling you where these 9 UFO different propelling craft are? And he says he heard it was an archaeological dig site. So they would have dug them out of the ground on some archaeological site. So now that brings a lot of interesting assumptions that we can make about the pyramids in Egypt. Say that maybe the UFOs are in there and that's why they don't want people inside of the pyramids. Maybe the pyramid that's over top of the UFOs is to protect them. And someone was here like a warden, a solar warden, or someone here on Earth also to protect the secret. So you have to wonder if there is already some alien, tech here, aside from what we back engineered. Maybe there's always been an alien that formed our governments, and that's why they're in charge and they know what's going on and they can watch us. Don't forget when they say that God sees everything you're doing and we see the government surveying us with cameras, it really makes you freaking open your mind. Okay. I'm not destroying anyone's religious beliefs, but you have to assume or theorize that other possibilities could be real. Don't stop believing what you believe in. But for me, it's just something, to think of. Whew. Getting a little better. Hey, it's funny. I was outside for like 5 minutes, guys, and just boiling. So I took out a giant ladder out of the garage. Definitely lots of different structures, shapes up there. Oh, yes. Yes. And Craig, there's squares. We've seen squares. Yeah, sometimes the shadows do create squares. Yeah, we've seen that. I've seen that before. Sometimes you see a square, but it's like a shadow, right? But again, not with exactly straight edges. When you see well-defined straight edges of not one, one shadow of a pyramid, sure, but 100 of them or 50 of them all lined up. Wait till you see the next video. I showed a part of it on the members side, and don't worry, members, it's going to be the continuation of what I presented to you. We're going to look back as far back as 2018 when I showed them. But again, not having done any research or study how shadows or how I didn't know at that time. I was just getting into how light works on the surface, or light coming down from space, how it reacts with the surface, how we see the light, how the light scatters. There's lots to learn about. I'm no genius, right? So everything that comes up, you have to go through all these things that you have to look into. Thank you very much. Ericara Blue, welcome and thank you very much. Hi, Beth. Heard people are remote viewing below the Sphinx. I bet you they do that at night, close to a high energy place. It could be, Beth, that some of those high energy places brings out a lot of intuitive people that maybe didn't even know they had intuition unless they get close to that area. Sometimes it's an area that I've gone to archaeological sites, well, rarely, but the few I've gone to, I've gone through many abundant feelings and going through my mind of everything that can happen. Not everyone's like that. Me, definitely like that. So remote viewing below the Sphinx are seeing beings in stasis and an Ark Hall of Records. Love you guys. Bruce is bringing the disclosure. I love you, Beth. We're all bringing it because if you guys and gals are here supporting the channel, well, it's definitely helping, and it's helping keep this full-time job of mine up. And I love you all for it so much. Tell me about it, Grip Ripper. Imagine me trying all the screws And listen, I ain't going to hide it. I would never have thought that there was no friggin' threads because it was too dark in the hole to see. It's like, anyways, I won't get into it, but dark holes, you don't see the bottoms of them, right? You see the orifices of them. Anyways, the beginning of it. So what was wrong in that hole? The screws were loose in that hole, but it didn't make any sense to me, boy. I was, oh my God, what the hell am I doing wrong? I can't even screw in a friggin' screw, you know? And he said, are you sure you didn't mix up the solar viewer screws with the other screws? I'm like, oh my God, did I do that? I hope not. Nope. There was no threads on it. And like my 14-inch, the solar scope does not have any information on it. You could tell me yes all you want. The 16 or 27 videos you're going to look for after you get off from here to see if I'm telling the truth or not, you will see that the videos don't explain how to use the objects. Some of them explain, because we're all using things differently. Some people view the sun with an eyepiece. I'm not doing that. I'm viewing it through the camera. So a helical focuser. They said on the forum, I turn to the left and I turn all the way to the right, and then all the way to the left and all the way to the right, and the sun didn't change. And I went, uh-oh. So that's where I'm at. It was exciting with the 14-inch telescope. I lost over 40 pounds when I was setting it up and studying and everything like that. So doing pretty good, and down 20 pounds there when it comes for the solar things. But don't forget, we do need the good proper viewing times and everything. And this week I was extremely busy with the yard and the roof, but I went ahead and I told people that I got it. I should have waited before getting the image, but it doesn't matter. There's no hiding here. I got it. And obviously you must know that very hard for me to have it all set up there on the tripod. And I'll get it up in the stream for you tonight if you want to see it. I'll get it on the tripod behind me. So once I'm all used to using it on the tripod, I'll be able to superimpose it on my Celestron 14-inch telescope and have the remote to always align, and a lot better. Now I'm doing it by hand, old school, because old school is always better. I do old school till I understand the device. And once I understand it, then I start ramping up the knowledge, the experience, and the pieces, the devices, the parts. Thank you very much, Big Ben. The Maison de l'Astronomie gives excellent service. They even take the time to answer questions. You're absolutely right about that. Like I said, he was busy the other day. He didn't call me back. I'm like, I'll call him back. He is definitely there. They help the people, and he fixes things too, Big Ben, in Montreal. So things like if I have problems with my scope, if ever I did encounter a problem, I will definitely have it done by a professional, and at the same time learn, because I'm visual when I see somebody working on something. Takes the time to answer your questions. They're not trying to sell stuff every sentence. Yes, because they're the ones that suggested to me, why go really big with a solar telescope of 1,000 millimeters or 10,000 millimeters? Why? You have a good camera. I have a Nikon D850 at the back. It's a very strong camera. It should produce some excellent images, and I'm sure it will, and we'll go from that. The ideal on this channel is that when I invest in equipment, it will be to get us different views of different celestial objects leading up to Saturn, Jupiter, and everything, even though I have a video of Saturn here, some nice viewing on that one, but really, really getting into it and doing big astronomy. Goal here in 2 years after we buy all the equipment, I will reinvest all my money in saving up for a year or two to be able to get myself a dome at minimal price up on my roof in the back. Minimal construction of a dome, because it's how I should have started off. But I said, instead of starting off, I bring all the equipment out. So when I use my 14-inch scope, it's bringing the 75 pounds of weight outside. It's bringing every piece outside, and I set up each and every time I do that. Thank you, Super Day 44. I appreciate that, man. Emmy's in the house. Richard, thanks you guys. Adam from upstate New York, thanks a lot. I appreciate that, Adam Allen. Pink Dude says, when I look up at the stars whenever I can, I look for not only strange lights and craft, I'm also looking for stars being blocked out. Yes, very important to see the crossing conjunctions of large objects. And if you stare at the sky every night, you'll see them. It's a rare occasion. It's hard to see with the naked eye, of course, but it's true. Stars do. Look at Betelgeuse. Betelgeuse had happened. I said, oh, is Betelgeuse and Orion going supernova? What's going on? But it was apparently something large, a very large object that was going by instead. Little sip of water. I do want to check up on that guy too. Be sure he's not dead on the roof. I look up the stars whenever I can. I look for not only strange lights and craft, I'm also for stars being blocked out because cloaked, non-lighted craft, it's crazy. Yeah, and the conjunctions like other planets or maybe a big ass asteroid that's entered the constellation of Orion. When these things, Richard Crooks, hello, sir. Good evening to you. Thanks again, Sansi and everyone. Darla, most likely, but I didn't get a chance to see everybody yet. First, just take a look at the Apollo 11 astronauts' first press interview. Yes, absolutely. I talked about it just a couple months ago here, and you'll know they are sickened. Oh, yes. Oh, yes, 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 yes. You could see the reactions, real reactions, emotional reactions of them. They're in awe. They've just been either told to shut up and have been told to shut up after having seen what they saw on the moon. Most likely, I can tell you guys, beside the Apollo 11 area is where the lights were landing in Mare Fecunditatis. And we could, if they were talking about lights on the moon, it's definitely the lights that were going and coming from the moon. And I believe that if they went, it would not be the way they showed the public. So that's whether you tell me whether they went or not, I would say no, because of what's up there. But if they went, in theory, well, they're working with aliens. There's definitely something. Or it's a breakaway civilization. Some people tell me. I just have a hard time wrapping my mind around the fact that humans could have gone to the moon and, multiplied that quickly if we depend on the Wright brothers and flight here in not Canada, but on the planet. The Wright brothers. Okay. So in our minds, while flight began in that time and stuff, those buried UFOs at the time that they started running with paper airplanes, those UFOs, that's what we're running over, buried under the ground with an incredible, not one, not 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, or 8, but 9 different means of propulsion. And 9 different vehicles, or maybe 9 vehicles that are identical looking but have different propulsions. If it's true or not, Bob Lazar said, that, and listen, I love Bob. I've always loved the story, and I respect him, and I'm happy he spoke about it. But I'm not an idiot. I even go as far as saying, imagine if Bob was even part of it. You have to keep that in mind. Don't hate the guy, but analyze everything, because a secret, someone that's advanced enough to be flying around in those things, they're intelligent enough to keep the secret hidden from you. That's a fact. 100%. No way in hell would anybody find out, right? And everything that they planned and know that the truth isn't going to come out, they also knew and expected at one point somebody, me and or whatever, anybody, to show a couple of structures that's probably expected, but to be able to prove it is another thing. Scratch. Thanks a lot. Bakertron. Thanks, you guys. Bonjour, ami. Bonjour à toi, Bakertron. Merci. Thank you very much, Mix Ma'am. Thanks again, Super Dave. Good stuff Friday. The sun is certainly very active at present, and it's only just beginning at the new cycle. Time to pass out the tinfoil hats. That's what I should be passing out. We should have some Bruce Swartz tinfoil hats. Was it John Lear that did that at one point? Tinfoil hats. Good idea. But that's how it is, right? The people that talk about UFOs often pass off for the tinfoil hats. Did you know that tinfoil will bring your ironing, ladies, back 100% chrome? Did you know that? Hey, guys, you got bumpers out there that are rusted? Grab a piece of aluminum paper and rub it over top of your chrome, and it won't even cause any scratches because the metal's a thinner, lighter, less thick metal than the aluminum. Aluminum does a lot of things. You want to clean your silverware? Put aluminum in the bottom of some water, baking soda, and some salt. Once you add the salt, poof, everything's back to normal. So the aluminum hat people are not that crazy, is what I wanted to get to. Thank you very much, Chris. Gamecock Mike is in the house. Are they really triangles or like the pyramids in Giza? Hey, see, that's interesting. The pyramids in Giza or Giza, yeah, no, like that, like that, like that, like that. No, it's literal standing up pyramid. And what I should say, actually, it's a standing up isosceles triangle, because it's actually elongated, a very long isosceles triangle, very thin and a wide, long nose and tip. The tips could be more elevated than they are, but you see, the problem is on the moon, we see everything lying down. So when you see those buggers up, standing up, they're massive. Thanks again, Peter. Thanks, Super Dave. Crimson Drums in the house. At 1:15, I am late, you guys. Sorry. Found a doorway in the service of Mars. Your thoughts? Well, Crimson Drums, Andrew Basiago, that talked about a door opening on Mars, in an archaeological excavated ancient site again, where there's a portal. There's a portal. They're literally said that there was a Stargate, and that Andrew Basiago says that he went there with his father, who was working on a secret project. Hey, Elias, t'as raison, hein? J'ai vu ça ce matin. Friday the 13th, you guys. Not a good day to be on a roof. Friday the 13th. But found a doorway on the surface of Mars. Well, I think it could be real, man. It could be real that they're talking about that. It could be that they're doing tests of Stargates, and if some other entity or being comes in through that, well, we are effed. But they're not going to mention that. But those could be things that are actually happening. Double Star Channel, thank you, and thanks for the comments. Did you guys know that only 14% now, it used to be 14% of all my subscribers watch the channel? I know a lot of you are probably going to have a hard time to believe that. Most of the views that I get are from people that are not subscribed to this channel. And when I say most, I don't get very many views. So where's the community? We wonder, right? We're here. We're a bunch, maybe 200-300 that come back continually here and support the channel once in a while. Yeah, scratch right in S4. That's where they have those 9 craft, different propulsion systems, so they say. Oh no, Darla is always here. She never missed a stream, my friend, and she'll never not miss a stream. But it could be that she has a life too sometimes. But there she is, right under you. Hello, Peep. She was watching, waiting for you to talk. So now I'm going to scroll all the way down. I'm going to miss a whole bunch of questions by a whole bunch of people, which we're going to continue tonight for sure. Yeah, like Klaus Schwab said, you will own nothing and be very happy. I mean, I know a lot of you don't understand what that meant, but it means you don't even own clothes. You can rent clothes to go out to balls and stuff. A very effed up way that they're going to be doing things, I think, was prepared until this morning, pulling out and starting over to spite an enemy just for spite. Hang in there, brother. Annie Gaddis, thank you very much, Annie. Appreciate it, sister. Sky Meadow 77, how's it going, my friend? JT1111, thanks again, guys, for being members. Amazing support you give the channel. Thank you so much, you guys. Tony D, hello to you, brother. From Wales, thanks a lot, man. Thanks, Mix Ma'am. Mix Ma'am, thanks, man. Yes, sir. Happy Friday the 13th, everybody. Betty Zoom's in the house, 108 degrees Fahrenheit. My friends are boiling too. I guess I'm not alone to be hot. Yeah, it's pretty hot. It's very, very, very hot. Piero Ravini, thank you. Hey, from Greece. Tekanis Re? Thank you very much. Sorry, Piero. There's one thing I forgot about the Greek language was the different greetings for the different age groups. So basically what I just told this wonderful Greek person is, how's it hanging, yo? So, and I didn't want to say it like that. I was not raised by Greeks, but when I was working, boy, I learned a lot with them. Some good people too. And I learned a lot of some of the words. I don't know if it's Stekanis Kyrie or Kyria. I think Kyrie was the proper term, like hello, sir. No. What did I used to say to Costa? Yasu, I think. Am I right? You got to let me know. I'm forgetting. This was years ago. I think it's Yasu. And no, Yasu's for the younger. Tekanis is for, I don't know. I remember that and Ecosidolaria. That's all I remember when I was working for them. Love languages. It's coming. Let's hope these UFOs don't propel by using petrol. Exactly, Grip Ripper. There will be more than 9 dug up. That's true. That is very, very true. And if there's 9 there, what if there are like 180,000 there? And they take those 9 out with different propulsion systems to try to find out how they work. And then when they find out how they work, they'll go in and bury another one to be able to use it for spare parts too. Imagine having spare parts to UFOs. And that's besides everything they're going to do, like with a human with synthetic DNA, where they're going to synthesize. That's not a word. It's a word, but it has nothing to do with synthetics. But anyways, they will make synthetic parts for the UFOs that maybe similarly function, but that not necessarily function. So imagine. Yes, Barb. And if you do stream, and when you do stream, I will be there to say hello. Barb Weast, I promise. Twinsy. Barb's born the same day as me. Sometimes we show the same characters. I always get a good laugh. We look so innocent, eh, Barb? Oh, Agog's in the house. Hello, humans. Hello. Testing. Stephen J. Ford is back. Hi, Bruce. What's our archaeological find again? Yes, the archaeological find is something that was never mentioned. Only the objects were mentioned of having been found, which are Bob Lazar's 9 different types of UFO in the S4 bunker that apparently hold 9 craft that have, if I understood well, that have different means of propulsion systems, different anti-gravity systems. Maybe some of them take fuel too. That I don't know. Didn't get too much in details. He talked about the craft being very small, too small for humans to be inside. That could also mean the drone. I mean, anyway, I get a whole bunch of things going by my head. So during Joe Rogan's podcast, he had Jeremy Corbell and Bob Lazar there talking about the movie that was going to be, I don't even know it. I haven't watched it, with Jeremy Corbell about Bob Lazar's story. At the end of the video, literally at the end of the interview, if I'm not mistaken, somebody asked Joe Rogan Joe Rogan asked Bob Lazar, do you know where those 9 vehicles or craft were retrieved from? Did you hear anything about it? And he said that it would have been an archaeological, somebody said it was an archaeological dig site, meaning an archaeological dig site where they were digging, and they were looking for things, and they would have maybe found something. So go back as far as you want to the archaeological ways that humans have been doing archaeology. The archaeologists do surveying the land and whatnot, and the way they dig their squares, and they dust, and they take off inch by inch, layer by layer. They would have found a UFO in one of those archaeological dig sites. I didn't hear him mention the area where it was. I didn't hear anything else of that. But that is a part of the story that is different to Bob Lazar's continual same story, which he's repeated continually the same things in the same ways, maybe aside from a few different things, which is normal. Like he said himself at one point, people can forget about certain things. And I just believe that's a polite way of him not bringing that out. He said also that he regretted a little bit having spoke up about it because he had access to the most secret technology and knowledge on the planet. So for me, it's that his story was very odd. Richard Crooks, 15 degrees here. Hey, that's not too bad, actually. Just a nice afternoon. Thanks again, Richard Crooks. So, was it a real story? Is there some truth in what he said, about the archaeological site? You got to wonder about certain things. He's obviously leaving certain things out that he can literally not talk about. My theory continues: sun flare when windy now, extreme heat increases. Always, 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 always. Now and listen, I haven't stopped filming white light viewing either. The sun's just been quiet. 3004, if I'm not mistaken, is c'est ça les hausse le 3004, je pense, to the sunspot that's looking really active with many spots. Give me a second, guys. Oh, I guess it wasn't on mute. Okay. Sorry, guys. I'm going to scroll all the way down. Miss Ellen J.A., hello to you. No poking allowed, says Super Dave. Jonathan, thank you. Look into the Charles. Spell that correctly. Designs all kinds of blowing flying machines. It will do. Look, definitely. No pokey pokey hocus pocus shenanigans. Yeah, it cleans out. I'll say, like, you got to look up Jim Brower, comedian, talks about a colonoscopy, how it cleans out the tubes. But the way he explains it is pretty incredible. Christian Massé, salut mon frère. Definitely missed him too. Christian Massé, thanks. Merci mon frère d'avoir partagé mes recherches aussi. Je vais le partager sur la chaîne française. J'ai-tu partagé? Oui, déjà. Je ne me trompe pas. Supposé. Peut-être j'ai-tu oublié? Je te remercie vraiment bien gros, Christian, de parler de ma chaîne. T'es le seul, mon frère, qui parle de ma chaîne. Lionheart, I have to agree. My dear old granddad, we don't know the half of that's absolutely right. He was right. Trilambdo Delta. Fat bottom girls, flying saucers with round bottoms. Freddie Mercury hinted at it. There you go. There you go. Exactly. That's right before he wanted to break free. That's true, though. Definitely true. Girls with fat bottoms. Talking about Quebecers? Oh my God, what am I saying? We've had anti-gravity machine long before. Yes, one fell in a farm field in the 1940s. Yes, exactly. Right around the same time Superman came in, right? Exactly. Of course, it had been around a long time. I agree with that 100%. Never watched a space launch. Tesla car, for example. Yes. As soon as any slight light appears in the background, the camera cuts to a map or chart for 5 minutes. That is something very, very true, Mr. Smedley. That's exactly true, because every time the car would turn and pivot, it was the light reflection appearing on the bumper, and we would never be able to see it for long. We'd get parts of it. And it's true that not seeing the light in the background. That's definitely true, because if it's a manipulation they did, they wouldn't want us to see the truth about that, having been manipulated. Imagine. Exactly, Agog. It's exactly it. It's exactly it. The story also exists that Lincoln's war secretary was sent out to validate the claims of a man who had a flying machine capable of 500 miles per hour. Yeah, 500 plus miles per hour would be watched. It worked, but concluded there was no need for it. BS. Yes, definitely. Also, that guy from Venus with the flowing hair that apparently came down. There is talk about the beings that come down here, and actually the stories that are the most credible, or sound the most realistically credible, are the ones where the aliens almost look like humans. Isn't it incredible how to be able to differentiate a human from an alien? Maybe there's no way of doing it aside for the difference we have between the eyes of a white person, an Asian person, different traits of eyes. Every culture and race has a different size, shape, or form of a body object. That's duh. It's just how it is, right? Maybe aliens is the same thing. It would be just little bits of information that would come out. I want to see if he needs help getting off the roof, and then I'm done, guys, because I don't want him stuck up there. Hold on. Sorry, guys. 2:30. A couple of the problems at home that I'm fixing. All while working at the same time. Moved to Florida, take lots of money. I used to live in Panama City. Price was off. I believe it. We went there for a week vacation, cost thousands of dollars to feed ourselves for 7 days. Of course, it's vacation, but yeah, for sure. Sergeant Haggis. People need to stop asking, and Sergeant Haggis just disappeared. Sorry, bro. Darla Lama's there. Hello, Darla. I finally see Darla. Let me scroll down here. Yes, I know, Darla. I look so bad without them. Yeah, it's Bruce's clone. Yeah, I know. I'm so sorry, guys. I got a guy here looking at something on the house, and yeah, you said it, Max Autism. That's right. No, I'm late. I've always done that, guys. Even when I'm working, I have my streams. I don't stop. My community, I'm there for them. I keep going, and I keep my work going. Nothing's gonna stop me now. I feel like Laverne and Shirley right now. Oh, okay. The beginning when they go Lamaze. Remember? No. Bruce, been using my scope this week. What do you reckon with a 3 times Barlow with a 700 refractor moon? Looked cool at 2 times. If you have a 700 refractor, you could definitely try the 3 times Barlow. Me, I tried the Barlow with mine. It's just ridiculously. I was like inside of the head of an alien, inside of a crater. It was a bit too close, but I would try it. But you're probably pretty good with it 2 times, though. But if the 3 times fits, friggin' go for it. Full zoom, man. Full zoom until you're positive that it's over zoom. If you go up and you have a very hard time focusing on it, try to focus on different objects or whatever. But if you can't do it, well, then go back to the 2 times Barlow. But yeah, I mean, I'd give it a try for sure. Definitely give it a try. And I guess I'll never get to the bottom of all of this, eh? I'm disappointed about the times that I got up out of my seat, but I had to, my friends. It was that or no stream. I'm sure you appreciated the stream. Hi, Bruce. Wondering maybe there's a UFO under the ocean. I definitely believe it. As a matter of fact, it could be so damn large that it could be the whole bottom of the bloody ocean. And imagine how that would be covered up by so many things. I bet you still the surface and heads would be out. So, Roger, thanks for asking that. I definitely agree that the possibility of UFOs being inside of the ground. In other words, we all know it, right? The ancient cities are all buried, right? Everything's underground. We have churches. Ever notice how a church doesn't do much excavating in their yards, like for your whole lives? But when they excavate a church, oops, just so happens they start finding bodies and stuff, and they have to, uh, you know, um, uh, stop the archaeological digging, and then, or more or less start an archaeological digging instead of an excavation, because that's often what they do. Joe Hartman Jr., how's it going? It is hot today, boys and girls. Joe Hartman Jr., let's see what they find in Utah. Oh, they find something in Utah, did they? Also, some volcanoes around there. They were talking about not so dormant anymore, actually. They were even talking about that. Emmy, MTech says the autocorrect for me too is the same. I'm always continually making mistakes. There, all done. A little bit of problems here at home, and instead of hiring big contractors, some people come by and check. It costs a little less expensive. I just don't want the rain in the house. Mark Ball, old timing of these Archie rumors, odd timing of the. Yes, it is. That's absolutely very odd timing. Yes, Darla, I had a fiddler on the roof. No, I was very appreciative of a family member that came and gave me a hand here for the roof. Had to get the big ladder out because I couldn't use a small ladder. A small ladder is not much of a reach to get up on the roof. And something very, very funny. As for heights, I can get up when somebody's holding a ladder. If I'm alone to get up on a ladder, no effing way am I going to climb a ladder, whether it has 6 steps or 106 steps. I'll climb a tower to the sky, but I will not climb a ladder. I have a hard time with that. Well, have I fallen off? Yeah, sure. Yes, I have too. Maybe that didn't help, but in reality, working on construction with the guys, they really initiated me, the buggers. I went and appeared on a construction site with some guys and told them I was afraid of heights. Do you have any idea how much fun they had with me? Lots of fun. Thanks so much, you all, for stopping by. And Pat Scanlon, guys, I have a very good video coming up, very revealing video. You notice how if any of you notice that there's nobody here anymore, that's basically what I'm asking you. Like, if you notice that for real, when you come here, it's only you guys, and the people that are here on the live streams are not the ones necessarily commenting on the channel. 3 comments since yesterday on this channel. I have over 2,000 videos. I have over 600 live streams. I don't know how many live streams I have. Maybe not that much, 300 or whatever. And no views. We know that that's absolutely impossible. It's, me talking about a solar scope is not going to get my channel closed unless maybe something's up with the sun. They don't want me to see. Of course, again. Yes, well said, Darla. Welcome to the outer limits. Do not adjust your sets. Could they be from the secret land beyond Antarctic? Very interesting. Yes, the wall. Talk about the wall, right, Pat? That big, big ice wall in Antarctica where only a certain military person went there. Could absolutely be before the Antarctic Treaty. That's Antarctica, the Admiral Byrd. Yes, Admiral Byrd spoke of. Yes, exactly, Admiral Byrd. When there were several planes on ships, like a crop plane almost looked like a plane that had a very short need for takeoff, like a very short strip of ground that it needs to take off. And then they even crashed a plane on top of it. There were several of them. I mean, he did a lot of stuff. If it's real, what he did, definitely. But those are secret projects that the government was doing even back in the days. They're talking about it now freely, but this is in 40s and 50s. Think of it, guys. They're talking about this 70 years after, 75 years after. It's crazy that they're admitting some of this afterwards, which they still, if you look at Admiral Byrd's video and documentary, I've watched it 10 times and you don't see much, right? You see nothing. You hear an incredible audio on the video, but they're not showing you nothing. They're showing you maybe that river and green haven that he found is in the video, even though you can see it in black and white. You can see it's like summer in Antarctica. But the goal was to cross that wall to see what was on the other side. And, well, it could be that there are alien bases on that side and that it would have taken thousands of years before humans would be able to travel there and walk there. But now it's been that long that humans have planes now and start going, you have to say that in the 1800s, aliens, if they were here, and they are on Earth or inside Earth, also on top of Earth, they got buildings like us, I'm sure, right? Why do they have to live inside of the ground? If they're advanced, they'd be able to live outside of the ground. No, it seems to me, no. We call aliens an advanced race. How advanced are they? The ancient tech that we have here was advanced. Are the aliens coming to us, the humans, because we have that technology? Maybe the humans that were running the Earth here before, that left Earth, went and we can't talk about the 3-letter word, but had fighting the W word, and that led to the abolition of the human race. Well, not entirely, but just the leftover people stuck on the planet. If the elites left a long time ago and left us to fend for ourselves, this could be the evolution process that we're going through, right? So many theories that we can speculate on. Anyways, that's for sure. They interest me so much. I've got the Fiddler in the Roof song stuck in my head. Yes. Yes, Shoe Docker, I can become invisible sometimes. Watch this, actually. Wait. Dazzy Bling in the house from Saint-Lambert by the Sea. Hey, Saint-Lambert. Merci. And St. Lambert by the Sea. Thanks for being here, Dazzy Bling. Thanks for all the amazing support you guys give this channel. Very big craft. That's what they said. Was it not Buzz Aldrin? The craft on the moon. Geez. The craft on the moon was very big. Parking around the craters. And they can park on the edge of the brightness. Each bloody crater has a bright spot. And it's that simple. UFOs can land in the bright spot. And then on the ground, once you're on the ground, they're getting off, they're doing anything. They'd be walking naked with beers in their hands. We're not going to see them. But the big craft, so that it's not seen, and because they're so big, all they would have to do is have a manipulation of the surface where they're landing, or they'd really, for real, have some type of covers, roofs, or some type. And again, this is thinking basic, like a human being, right? Maybe they're far more advanced than us, but I don't linger on the far more advanced. We don't know who's more advanced yet. We don't know who's more advanced yet. Cliff face looks like it was stucco coated at some point too. Could be. Mark Hall. No, the sun is about to nearly kill us. The sun is going to ramp up. We're going to see cataclysmic weather events and new phenomena from here to 2025. And then in 2025, the slowing down of everything, hopefully the New World Order and everything will be done. And in 2026, they'll be revealing healed cancers. I hope. I feel good for 2026. Something good is going to happen in 2026, which is not that far off too, because we're in 2022. Maybe 4 years. But the sun is definitely not going to solar minimum. It could be. I doubt it. It's these cycles last 11 years in general. The big explosions that we saw just 2 weeks ago was the biggest event any of us have ever seen that are alive right now. Did you know that? It was the biggest solar flare in CMEs since the beginning of cycle 24. We're in cycle 25 now. So that's 11, 12, 13. That's like 12, 13 years ago. The sun had never been that active as what we saw with the solar flares. We're seeing solar flares reacting that are small on the sun. I mean, smaller, and they should not be as aggressive enough to be acting up, but they do sometimes. So obviously it's all theory. The sun's going to do stuff that no one's going to be able to predict. And this is what we're going through right now. Imagine how much that's going to attract other objects from coming into the solar system. So can we come to the assumption that every time there's a reversal of the poles, a pole shift, that a large object or objects can come into the solar system and be attracted into the solar system? And I believe, in theory, it could be dangerous for Earth to be hit by some of these objects. I think basically that's all it is out there in space, honestly, that they're worried about certain asteroids that can come and hit the planet, and obviously they're sick enough in their heads that they want to do tests themselves. So do you believe me? They're going to try to find a planet, or probably already have Titan, Proxima B. Who knows? Where there's water and oceans, where they're probably going to drop themselves a gigantic object to see what the effect is if it causes a tsunami and stuff. They have to be testing this elsewhere. Maybe the moon is a testing site for those things. You know, who knows? You heard it yourself. They like dropping things on the moon, making it ring like bells for hours. Why? Do you think that was very responsible for somebody to do, approaching a planet that they knew nothing of, and that we're just going to drop our big shit on the planet, big heavy ass fuel radiation filled crap bolts and screws, and just drop that on the surface and make a big blast site? It's the worst of it. That's what they say they're going to do. So they're analyzing with large telescopes to see what the crash sites look like. I don't know. I mean, it's so stupid to think. Oh, yes. Thank you, Joe. You know, Joe, that's the first time people ever saw my chair because I've never left during a stream. As a matter of fact, I'm going to wipe my head off again. See, Scratch just left. He wasn't laughing at that, but it doesn't matter. Spear Thrower, how's it going? Bruce is just going primal on an intruder. Be back soon. That's right. There's a craft under the Baltic Sea. I've been hearing about that too. Or is it the Bering Sea? Now I'm mixed up. I think you're right. I think it was the Baltic. It could be the Bering Sea too, though. And now the drivers who found it are banned from the area. Military taken over. Incredible, eh? So they want to see and find these sites. So when somebody reports a site, somebody reports a site, and then the military is sent over there, and then they put up a blockade, like, around the pyramids or something, and they just, why did they close down a few towns when they closed a few large telescope areas? Why did they do that? That was very odd. Arecibo telescope in Puerto Rico went down, crashed, unknown reason. And then 2 or 3 days after, a crew was to be sent there to dismantle the rest of the telescope because it was just too dangerous. And while they were driving there, 1,000 or 1,100 pound ton, whatever platform crashed through the center of the telescope and destroyed it. Bullcrap. That's bullcrap. Maybe an alien came down, shot down. Could very well be, eh? Let me scroll all the way down. Look at the moon. I wonder what finds, if any, they pay for getting reported. I wonder. Imagine the fines of a large telescope that leaks information found in space, and oh my goodness, they must own all rights to everything found. They must say if you own a big telescope, the only thing you're allowed to do with the big telescope is to reveal all the data. It's probably sent as they are watching and using the telescope. Someone in the military is receiving the files. They're seeing all the telescope, how it's being used. This is all hidden. Be sure it's hidden. People tell me, Bruce, why don't the big telescopes talk to us about what's up there? Because they see it all. They're going to talk about anything. And it could just so happen that most of the aliens that we're seeing are UFOs are secret projects. It's all our bloody government sending up things out there, lights and everything, for whatever the reason. Remember 2 planets, Lise, l'autre, comment ça va? Remember 2 planets were destroyed, so all ends of stuff circulate around out there, ben oui, and can be attracted into our atmosphere, giving us fireballs, meteor showers, and following space dust and debris. Yes. And aussi, ça peut durer longtemps. It's something that can come in, that debris field will come in for a long time. China caused the debris field, the United States caused the debris field, and so did Russia. Okay. And all that crap is flying around. And it's one of the reasons why they have to even now move the bloody space station over, because they said that incoming debris is going to come and travel too close to the space station. Can you imagine that? They weren't doing that a couple of years back. They weren't moving it as often. When Nibiru enters the solar system, it goes through the large asteroid belts and drags thousands of meteors. Yeah, it's a hell of a theory. I'd believe it if it was really a big object. Yep, into the solar system. That's how the moon got those craters. Makes sense. Awesome, Antonio Alvarez, my friend. Thanks, bro. Aldora Dorota, music. They start doing restrictions on telescopes like the drones. Yes, exactly. So that everything remains hidden. No matter what comes out, remains hidden. I mean, ask anybody from Celestron if you could actually find if the building exists. And it's in California. Find it like all the other corrupt. Anyways, find out, by Celestron, a guy from Celestron. I had a chance to talk to a spokesperson. And I asked him, how many 14-inch telescopes does Celestron sell? He goes, oh, shit, none. It's not something that, it's sold for science, people that work in science, or a curious guy like me that likes, maybe built an observatory, which I didn't, and wants to try his telescope. Bruce, why did the Catholic Church have a telescope? Yes, and why did they name it Lucifer? Well, that's easy. I have a very easy solution for you. I'll tell you something else about secret societies. And no, I'm not a specialist, but I do definitely know a lot about secret societies, enough that I could bring up 2 or 3 issues right now that people probably never heard about the Freemasons and about Masons. I learned the whole story. I found out how the Masons developed the Freemasons, which came from the Masons, right? Which in reality, if you go back in Scotland, hey, Craig, 1971, Scottish, right? And in Scotland, who in Scotland hasn't heard about secret societies or the Scottish rites? Hundreds and hundreds of thousands of people. Everybody knows about that. And back in the day, there was like 9 Masons for like 10 Scots. That's how it was, right? Because of the Scottish rite. The king was into that too, and brought a whole bunch of things. But I'm going to talk to you about something very interesting that a lot of people do not know about the Catholic churches. It's something I guarantee you, I bet you one of you or none of you know about that. And I'll mention it now. Super trolls on the attack. Big time jokers. Oh, yes. Always. Thank you, Peter Benton. Yeah, the trolls really want me gone. Definitely want me gone. So at one point, do you guys remember me showing, thanks again, Peter, a Catholic church with, it doesn't necessarily have to be, but it does. But I've seen it not a Catholic church, but the ones that have 2 columns in front. And I mean 2 columns, 2 bell towers, not just a bell tower up in a tower. The problem is when the Catholic Church didn't entirely go into Masonry. It's that certain different churches went into it. But the problem is when the Catholic Church went into to become a Mason, and don't forget how it all started. To become a Mason was to better yourself, right? Yes, there's a club. Yes, women don't go there. There's an initiation. Yes, and a bunch of things. It's actually very funny because it's considered a secret society, but that's just so things remain hush hush, because it's never been a secret society. People have always known about it. Always known about it. There's never, in general, there's lots of people that don't know about it, but not everybody doesn't know about it. Catholic in charge of the Catholic Church, whoever's in charge of the Catholic Church, and I'm talking about the building, like a landlord, not all Catholic churches that do the masonry or that have become a mason and they're a priest have to advertise that on the top of their churches. If you go to the church in Valleyfield, the one with the double columns, I've showed it on Facebook and I've showed it here before. You might not believe me, but the Catholic Church has the Masonic symbol on top. Nobody understands the different lodge colors. Nobody understands the Blue Lodge. Freemasonry came from people wanting to follow the Mason's word to better themselves, but they were not actually Masons, because back in the ancient times with the ancient Masons, it was only the Mason that became the Mason. It was a real Mason. That's why they were called Masons. But the Freemasons developed the free ideology of it, another branch of the Masonry and stuff. It is so complex, the Masonry. You see somebody comes to even my channel sometimes and they say, oh, you got a picture of you hiding your eye, you're a Mason. It's so stupid when I hear people say that. A lot of the troll channels, bunny channel and stuff, talking about silly little things like that. The real people that connect with the government into the Masonic League, yes, okay, they're the big ones raising money and whatnot, doing whatnot. But there's a lot of Freemasonry where people do not do masonry, and they're not following all the levels. They're just Freemasons with the free ideal of learning a certain knowledge without having to go through the levels. And that caused a lot of a major cataclysm, obviously, with the Masonic lodges who, you know, there's certain things, don't do this, don't do that, get your tongue cut off, you get your throat slashed if you mention about what's going on behind these doors. You know, they had to think of an absolutely incredible initiation, but it's not what people think. People intend on going in there and that their throats are going to be slashed and they don't know what's going to go on, you know, maybe possibly threatened to death, right? I think that would be more of what they would do. But aside from that, you know, it's a hush hush boys club that became very, very large. And that's the part that's missing from our understanding. And now run by the world. They say the world's run by Masons. Yes, but in my town, there's a lot of Masonic tombstones, which was a religion. And that religion was a religion of people trying to better themselves. So you have the elite Masons and you have the peasant Masons, if you want, the Freemasons, right? But the ancients and how high it went up with the government and stuff like that, that's outside of the box. I mean, I've never heard anybody talk about Masonry and to be able to place properly, you know, how it all started and, you know, lots of rumors and things also, you know, secret societies. Why do you think were created? It's easy. Do you see how they're suppressing us today from being able to talk about that 3-letter word? It starts by W and smells like sulfur. So what people do is they start doing like I do. They start talking between the lines. They start secret societies and clubs to be able to gather together and talk about things that the governments are doing without anybody knowing about it. And it's a repetitive cycle. So there were secret societies a long time ago, and there's still some today. I'm sure there's still some being started today, you know. But we don't know the exact story of what the Masons have to do exactly with the energy, the New World Order. And, you know, there's a part missing. Just say, oh, the Masons are the ones, the elites. Yeah. But what's all the in between is the hard part to understand, you know. Maybe you went into a park or something, or you were with your grandfather and you went to the Moose Lodge, right? Been there, done that. Curling club, maybe, to go in and they're talking, you know. And then you see one guy that's there and he has a pant leg rolled up. What the hell? Why the hell does he have a pant leg rolled up? Right? Maybe you go shake someone's hand and someone points their palm exactly downwards and the top of their hand upwards, in front of you and pull you in for a handshake and grabs your arm. You know, I've done handshakes like I always do. When I handshake a guy, I go like that. I bring him in and I grab his arm, but it's not because I'm a Mason. But somebody that is in the lodge, in the Mason, back in the days, that's how they used to advertise for people. And if you want to become one, well, you have to ask a Mason to enter the club. And apparently a Mason's not allowed to say that he's not a Mason. So ask me if I'm a Mason. No, I'm not. Yeah. But somebody asked me, oh, you're a Freemason. I'm into energy. I'm into all the secrets and tricks and trades of the world and what everyone's learning that's not supposed to be learned about. But do I join clubs? No, I haven't joined the club. Not yet. Right? It's a bit childish, honestly. Clubs today is just money grabbers. But in reality, you know, yeah, exactly. Real Masons and the imposters. It's exactly it. The people that are online, you know, showing their big master shirts and their white shirts and their cloaks, and they're doing this and they're doing that. They got a ring, maybe a Masonic ring. Maybe someone's talking. He's like this. Yeah, how's it going? Flashing his little Masonic ring, because it's how can I say it? People use it as a power to scare people, to pass off as someone that's dark, and you know, and it's a hard to understand story. Masons have contributed a lot to fundraisers and stuff for cancers and stuff. There's a lot they're doing. Are they maybe destroying the world too? Could be, but I don't think it's the guys in the lodges here, right? Because the lodge is just at the end of my street, the Masonic Lodge. There's one in Valleyfield, there's one here, and the one in Valleyfield, well, obviously it's in the church, because the Catholic churches are the ones. They're the ones that are there for the Masons. But there has to be a Masonic League sign on the top of the church, though. And that's when they started integrating hidden symbols. When you went to a church, they could very well show you a picture, an image of Jesus Christ on a cross with Mary underneath holding her hands out, catching blood. But in that image, you're going to see a symbol or something. This is in theory. Maybe a masonry symbol. There's lots of different symbols, and there were lots of different signatures or signs that some of the ancient builders that built these incredible things used to do, like different markings and stuff, right? I also, to understand masonry, another thing is that the Masons, they build, right? So what happens when you build? When you build blocks over one another, you construct something far bigger than you already have, and you can construct something big and solid that will be seen by many people. And they say that that's the goal of the Freemason or Mason, is to better themselves and to evolve higher and higher in those levels of learning and understanding, which are like the building of a building, right? And people didn't understand, you know, why they were using a ruler and why a protractor and why, you know, geology is the G has to do with geology. Is it God? There's so many interpretations of it, but when you study it, it's extremely interesting. And go back as far as you want. If you look at the images in churches, in all churches, it's the Knights of Templar that are in the images. Those people going, you know, Jews or whatever, to kill Jesus Christ. Well, all these secret societies existed back then, like the Knights of Templar, which are supposedly to keep God's secret a secret. So anybody that talks about UFOs are going to be attacked by the Knights of Templar. Also had problems with them. But again, like Kai said, the imposters had people saying they were going to break my neck from the Scottish Rite. Yeah, right. Come on. Seriously. Okay. And that's what people do. They hide behind these symbols to scare people. The same way the trolls come onto my channel and hide behind skull signs. One guy told me it was the Hells Angels. You guys don't want to play with that. You want to pretend you're gang members and stuff like that. People watching online, get your asses kicked by somebody else, not me. But it's scare tactics. If we see the governments are scaring us with scare tactics, well, trolls, that's how they do. They attack the same way. Trolls remind me a little bit of the governments, how they attack the people. They do the same things. Framer. Switzerland. Thank you, Ollie. Alquest. I love languages. Framer. Like good morning. Guten Morgen. Guten Tagen. Buenas noches. It's I think they invented all these languages to confuse us. The more I study languages, the less I understand my own. But not all, eh, Barb? Yes, MTB, I know it. I know it. Ladies and gents, we made it to 3:00. I thank you all so much, and I apologize for the often disturbance of me leaving the stream. But to be honest with you, I would have not come on because I enjoy your time here, enjoy the questions, the stuff we talk about. Also, thanks a lot, Joe. Damn right they suck, man. Check out the symbols on the Pope's robe. Yes, Annie, there's some truth to that. Yep. Yes. And other symbols. There's also the upside down cross right on each side of his chest. The cross is upside down. There's another excuse or reason for that also. You know, they say this is not a sect, and on Easter they go in, and if the chimney smoke rises or whatever a certain way, well, it means a certain thing, and that's how they choose the Pope. You know that? It's like saying, I'm going to poop in a pail, and if the poop changes color before 6, well, you'll be the new Pope. That's basically a bad example, but it gives you an idea what I think of them. No respect for the Vatican and what they're doing. None whatsoever. None at all. None whatsoever. They're the ones holding the secret and doing all the bad stuff. Master Blaster, Switzerland, and HQ of the Octagon, home of the Pharaoh. So the ancient, that's another very interesting thing. Thanks, Master Blaster. The ancient cities of the world back in the days, right? Where everything was overlapping each other, okay? Where there weren't 200 countries and where there weren't that many territories, the pharaohs and the rich lands that they had inside of these walls, what the hell were they doing? We imagine these beings in the desert. Well, you know what makes me laugh? Maybe the Egyptians weren't in the sand and they were around vegetation and in abundance vegetation, like Adam and Eve sort of Garden of Eden sort of vegetation. Why do we have to assume that they were standing up this advanced race? The aliens came down. Hey, where do we land? I definitely want to land where the sand's blowing in my eyes. Let's not go where there's nice solid surface and vegetation. Let's go into the bloody desert. What do we do? I don't know. We build no houses. What we're going to do is live in huts. But when people die, we will build the biggest monument for them. Does that make any sense to you? It makes absolutely no sense. They say the ancient Egyptians had running water. They had developed a very complex language and alphabet, symbols that they're using, hieroglyphs and whatnot, very, very advanced. Inside of the image of the hieroglyphs, we also see what looks like, and I'm just saying what looks like, it doesn't mean it is so, helicopter, airplane, and even a vehicle. Right on the wall on hieroglyphs inside of certain pyramids. So the next video, y'all, is going to be the dark pyramids on the moon, and I'll add some other stuff on there. Oh, thank you, Ollie Oquest. Maurer is a Mason. Did not know that. Thank you. That's good to know, eh? Hey, I am Kai. I appreciate that, bro. I love you for it, man. For the amazing support you guys give the channel. Seriously. I hope is okay, man. And if not, that shit you're going through with the dog and stuff there, I hope things will be okay. And really sorry to hear about that. But You said it yourself, you know, you know what you're going to do, you know, if you don't want the poor thing suffering or whatnot, just sending out energy your way, man. A whole bunch of shit happens to people like that. And I always feel, I always hate just blowing it off and saying, well, good luck. You know, it's easy to wish someone good luck and you don't have to endure it. It's important, man, to tell a friend that you're there for your friend. You know, I'm there for you, man. People want to talk sometimes. And if you want to talk, sometimes maybe something's bothering you. I had one person tell me that the best person to talk to was you, Bruce. You know why? Because it's someone that I have no ties or connections to what they're doing at home, to what they look like, to how they act. So often people can ask a question to someone and get a response back without somebody saying, well, you're a fat ass this and you're this and that. You know, it's a true, honest response. C5 Circle, how's it going, my brother? Good night to you, C5 Circle. There was talk about that, Annie Gaddis. Absolutely, there was talk about it. Pope on TV is CGI. That's another interesting theory, one I like. And I was very upset when there was a video of him disappearing at Lich, and it turns out that video I saw was faked. I am getting so enraged by the fake videos. It's okay if you have a channel that you're a movie, like people that make movies have to fake videos, but start a channel and say that you're a channel that does CGI. There's a field for doing CGI. It is a field of work. People do that in movies and stuff like that, right? But have a great weekend, YouTube Earn. Tinder X, adult dating site. No, thank you, Ace. Let's see if he was blocked. I'll block him. Yes, he already was because my amazing little Tinder surprise this evening. Anyone? Peter Benton. Thanks, man. Thanks to you. Thanks, you guys. I love you all so much. Yes, sir, you guys. I'll be back on tonight. And we'll talk about a whole bunch of things. Again, listen, I was on and off, but we had an amazing conversation. I was gone for 2 minutes, guys. We have an amazing conversation. I just always feel bad because I don't like my community being neglected. You guys take the time to come here every friggin' Friday. I will bend my back over to be able to come on each Friday, but because I love you guys so much. And I love you guys so much. And it's just the energy that I'm getting from you all. You can literally see it appearing on the screen. Some of the energy, like, you know. Anyways, thanks again, Darla, mods, everyone. Yes, the ring flashers. Christy, thank you so much. Hey, you guys. I'll be on Patreon this weekend, guys, answering comments too. I was really busy last week. Channel is dead, my friend. Thank you so much, Christy. Channel's dead, guys. There's no more views except for you guys coming to watch the videos. Be sure that your likes are still there on the videos because even the likes are being taken off. And I've not gotten a view on my last video. 3 views since yesterday. And yesterday I got only about 2 views. So for whatever the reason that happens, I can come on here and you see, I say if I get about 200 to 300, even sometimes 100 likes on a live stream, it could mean that could be very well the whole half of every real community member that is here. I know someone that has 100,000 subscribers, and he told me his followers are 3,000 to 5,000 people. There's not more than that. Somebody with 10,000 subscribers, sometimes you have only 50 real legitimate followers that come by. Creating a niche, like a family, like online, what we're doing here is absolutely incredible. I'm really lucky to have had the chance to do that. But it's sad to see that the channel doesn't want to grow and that new people coming here is very rare. So keep doing what you're doing by coming back here and everything. I love you, Christy, and everybody. Thanks for the amazing support. I'll be back on at 8 o'clock. I'm going to talk about a whole bunch of issues. I'm going to go look at the news before I come back here to see update ourselves on any future launches. We have an eclipse coming Sunday. We'll talk about some of that. And again, after the stream tonight, very disappointed I'll be uploading it late, but real dark pyramids on the moon, real symmetrical shapes being sheen from the shadows and back. And if ever my channel goes down, don't forget to look for Blue Swarps. Thank you very much, everyone. Talk to you soon.